It's not just a place. It's where your soul belongs. Where you leave the world behind. Some spend their whole lives looking for it and never find it. Some have a home and lose it. I know you're out there. Wherever you are in the world, I want you to know that there is a home for you here. Come back. But for now, close your eyes and you're home.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Philippines. This is my second time around, and if you guys remember from last time, I was only there for a couple weeks, having spent just a few days in each location. I mean, I remember returning home here in Seattle, falling absolutely in love with the Philippines, but honestly just felt a little unsatisfied because of how much we missed. I mean, I knew I wanted to visit other places around the world, like I had plans to visit South Korea, Guatemala, even Bali, and so on. And so honestly, if I didn't return this year, I would never go back again, at least not for a while. And there was a lot at stake as well. Like, we all had full-time jobs. I was running a business. So not only would we be risking that, but that meant that every second needed to count. But of all the places I've been to, there was really only one place that I truly felt like I was at home, and that was the Philippines. I myself am not Filipino, but the locals made me feel like I was one of them. So with that in mind, I really had only one option: meet up with Rose and book the ticket. And next thing you know, we were off to the airport.
How long have we slept? 9 hours.
9 hours at least. We got 2 hours left.
So we spent a night in Cebu. Hopped on another plane straight to a familiar place. A place you have seen on the channel before. If you guys have been watching my videos, you'd know that my experience in Siargao last year was kind of a disaster. I mean, we had flight cancellations, we had storms, I even got sick and injured. I feel so bad about that. So I personally came back with the intention of just doing Siargao right. Siargao is the surfing capital of the Philippines. It is also home to breathtaking landscapes, a laid-back, happy lifestyle, pristine beaches, and endless coconut jungles. But what makes this place unique is the people. They treat you like family, and it's like they know secrets to life that we don't know about. General Luna is the epicenter of all the hot activities everyone flocks to. And it's also where we stayed. It's filled with shops, resorts, local businesses, and restaurants. It's a small town where everyone sort of knows each other and the foreigners roam freely. Not just that, but many of these foreigners have been moving here to become digital nomads, and it's being named as the world's next Bali, a central hub for creators like me. This is one of the only places in the world where you can hop on a bike as you are and go wherever you want. After a day of chilling in the town, recovering from jet lag, we finally met up with Nico, who was still hungover from partying in Boracay. We woke up well rested the next day and immediately started our adventures. And it was really hot. Then we spent the day exploring the island and seeing its unmatched scenery. It felt like I was back in a familiar place, but experiencing it with new, fresh eyes. After a full day of adventuring through Siargao, we visited the infamous Sunset Bridge where partying and chilling come together. And if there's one thing Siargao is especially known for, it's the partying. But what we had planned for the next day was something that we've been anticipating for a long time. On the way north, we immediately felt the vibe of the island shift. We were no longer inundated with tourists and resorts everywhere. 1/4 of all fishermen in the world are Filipino because that is how they originated. All the islands in the Philippines are unified together by water, which the people would sail. It was through these bodies of water seafarers navigated and trade flourished. This is why these Philippine towns can be entirely self-sufficient next to the ocean, because that is how the culture thrived. And it was seeing these villages that put that piece of Filipino history into perspective. After my second visit to Siargao, I can safely say that it is one of my favorite places in all of the Philippines. Siargao is not just an island paradise for digital nomads and surfers. It's where the modern world collides with the rich history of the Filipino culture. It's a place where anyone can go to either call home or to have the time of their lives. But unfortunately, our time in Siargao was up, and we were off to the remote, the beautiful Balabac. For those who don't know, Balabac is the southeasternmost part of the Philippines, only miles away from Malaysia. Located in Palawan, it's considered the Maldives of the Philippines. Due to its crystal clear turquoise waters, remote islands, quiet atmosphere, and very inviting locals. So in order to get to Balabac, you have to fly into Puerto Princesa first and spend the night there. And that's what we did. We basically flew in from Siargao to Cebu and then Cebu to Puerto Princesa. We were gonna stay in this really nice cottage Airbnb for the night, but it was so hot because the aircon wasn't working, and so we had to make a quick transition to a different Airbnb just for the night because it was so hot in there.
It's hot.
We didn't really have much time to explore Puerto Princesa all that much because we were only there for like a night and we arrived super late in the day. But just by looking around, I could tell that it was a massive city, much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. So we ate and then immediately crashed for the night for a couple hours. At a brutal 2 a.m. wake-up call, we finally began the journey to Balabac.
So it's 2:30 right now. And yeah.
We had to take a van that would drive us for 5 hours down south, straight to the port, which would take us to Balabac. And let me tell you, the ride itself was not a pleasant experience. I mean, we spent the entire ride just being tossed around like a salad because the road was just so bumpy. But after 5 horrific hours, we finally arrived in Bululuyan Port, where we were introduced to our Balabac tour guide, Bong. And we were finally off to Balabac. When we arrived in Balabac, we started our first island hopping experience. We saw incredible secluded islands straight from a movie scene, each island spanning no more than half a football field. And yes, there are indeed locals who live on these island paradises, and one would think that since these islands aren't as developed, it wouldn't be safe for foreigners to travel to. But honestly, I couldn't have felt more safe. Balabac gave me a sense of peace and solitude I never felt before. Somehow, it was like the modern world didn't even exist outside of here. Sure, getting here was extremely uncomfortable. There are no resorts, no internet cafes, no restaurants, but honestly, that's what makes this place unique. You're forced to explore and immerse yourself. It makes me wonder what daily life is like for the locals. On the way back, we visited the Balabac town proper, where we slept in a hostel for the night. And when we awoke, we were off to our big adventure through Balabac. It was a pretty surreal experience walking through the town proper. Since it's a very remote area, resources here are limited, so most of the villagers eat food that they catch and grow. It's a fisher's village. These households are almost entirely self-sufficient and only use the resources that they catch. And like Siargao in a way, everyone knows each other and everyone looks out for one another. But where the two places differ is that Siargao gave a more chill and fun vibe, while Balabac gave us a more family vibe. They also differ in that Siargao is recently developed with an airport, resorts, hotels, restaurants, and available transportation. But since Balabac is just now in the process of developing, it's becoming more and more popular every year. There's even an airport under construction in Balabac, which will hopefully be done within 2 years' time. And honestly, I cannot wait for the world to truly see this place for its beauty. We arrived to our boat and set off for our second day of island hopping. We visited Onuk Island, where the waters are straight up like Fiji water, with the island spanning only just a few hundred feet. We then visited another island where we sang karaoke with the locals, which I'll never forget because they were saying that foreigners never pay attention to them. So what they were experiencing, even for them, was rare. And lastly, we visited a sandbar in the middle of the ocean. That was pretty crazy. It was so clear why I came back to the Philippines. In the time between visiting last year and now, I lost several family members, some friends, so I locked myself in a hole I never thought I'd get out of again. But after coming back here to the Philippines, I truly found that missing piece of home again. And even though I'm not from here, I felt as if I was. I was home. Each shared meal, each laugh, each sunset, and every time we sit still to be at peace became a reminder of the beauty of each new phase of life. That one can find home even halfway across the world. And without a shred of doubt, Filipinos are still the happiest and also the most generous of all peoples around the world. Generous with their love, their energy, their presence, and their food. They gladly welcome any stranger, any foreigner from strange lands to their home and arrange a seat at their table because that is what they have. And then it all made sense why I came back.